Welcome to Cage Free Voices Radio, an educational entertainment radio show where youth and young adults have the opportunity to see themselves even if the world is blind. I am your host, Bathsheba Smithen, CEO and founder of Cage Free Voices. I am really excited about this discussion on refugee children, migration, and integration, but I will not be your host for long. We have two phenomenal Cage Free Voices interviewers, and they are Michaela Calhoun and Alistair Berry. Michaela is sister to Malachi. She is an older sibling and she loves baking. She plans on placing her footprint on this world through her entrepreneurial endeavors through something called Kayla's Creations Bakery. Yes, Michaela loves to bake. And then we have Mr. Alistair Berry, and he is really excited to be up here with you guys. He is going to be not just an interviewer, but he's going to be a moderator. He loves basketball, movies, listening to music, and he wants to be a world-renowned film director. I'm really excited about these two interviewers, and I'm grateful for our partner, Set Them Free, with Mrs. Jim Ray Alker, who helped get all of this together. So we're excited to have Ms. Jim Ray Alker, who is the founder of the Set Them Free Initiative. And not only is she the founder of the Set Them Free Initiative, but she is UN representative for the Journalists and Writers Foundation. So, Jim Ray, say something to the people.
Thank you so much, Batseba. It's a great pleasure to be with all the children and you here. And thank you so much for the introduction and having us here. It's a great pleasure to collaborate with Cage Free Voices on such an important topic. We'll be listening about challenges of being a refugee from children's perspective. But if you allow me, I would like to introduce Set Them Free very briefly. It's a civil initiative founded to stand up for the rights of the arbitrarily imprisoned women and children, victims of Turkey purge. And apart from advocating for human rights, Set Them Free also organizes programs to empower women and children refugees for their better integration into the new societies. And after this unfortunate failed coup attempt of July 2016 in Turkey, there have been severe violations, in particular to freedom of expression, journalism, peaceful assembly, right to leave, and very importantly, limiting the rights of the human rights defenders. And the family members of the purged individuals were also affected by this unlawful restrictions, and a massive social persecution took place. And since this incident, there have been an enormous wave of an enforced migration from Turkey to safer countries as dissidents are forced to leave for a brighter future for their children. And today we have two young human rights advocates from Set Them Free with us. Zeynep Girdap, she is a rising senior at Simes Town High School East. Zeynep wants to study in the medical field. Her interests are fencing, doing yoga, and volunteering to improve the lives of others. She currently makes videos to raise awareness and advocacy on Youth Island YouTube channel. You may check it out. With their videos, Youth Island's goal is to bring attention to the issues of the world and propose ways to solve them. She has also participated at United Nations Commission on the Status of Women panels, both as a panelist and a participant. And apart from her, we also have Yusuf Burak Akay. He is 13 years old and going to 7th grade right now. Ever since he could remember, he enjoys drawing and listening to music. And as of July 2018, with his family, he was forced to leave his beloved home country, Turkey, behind due to persecution and made their transition to Greece. Yusuf was also in Set Them Free's online ESL classes when he was in Greece. So I'm very happy to have him here today as he's raising awareness in English too. And I would also like to thank Michaela and Alistair for their dedicated work to get this program together. Thank you guys, and looking forward for this important discussion. Thank you.
All right, there you have it, guys. These students are getting ready to take you on a journey, this journey of migration and integration. And so our moderator, Alistair, is going to start us off by introducing himself, and I'm going to let the rest of them introduce themselves. We are going to say arrivederci, and we'll be back toward the end of this episode. Enjoy, guys, and make sure you take notes, because we really need to hear from our young people in regards to this topic. So take it over, Alistair.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alistair. I'm going to the 10th grade. I'm from Southern Maryland. And the one thing I love about connecting with people is I just like analyzing what they're saying and learning from them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yusuf Burak, and I'm from Turkey. I'm currently living in Finland, and I'm a 7th grader. And what I love about connecting with others is that you become a part of their lives, and they become a part of your life. And also, they give you confidence and motivation, in my opinion.
Michaela?
Hi, I'm Michaela, and I live in Virginia. I am in 6th grade. And what I love connecting with people is because I can relate to their experiences if they have some. And I love to just talk to people and see what they've been through so I can help them. And that really makes me happy.
Zainab, you're last.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zainab. I'm a rising senior. I'm originally from Turkey, but I live in New York. What I love about connecting with others is that I think that connection lasts forever, and it just adds positivity to our lives.
Okay, so now that we all introduced ourselves, let's get right into this. Zainab, you told us earlier that you came to the United States from summer camp and you realized you couldn't stay because what's going on in your home country. Can you describe that experience for us? Tell us how you felt. Did you still have family left in Turkey, the whole process?
I came here for summer camp to learn English with my mom and her students and could not go back. We were on the airplane, and there was about 2 hours until we landed at the Miami airport. In a very short period of time, like 2 to 3 days, many institutions like the schools my mom worked at and the ones that I studied at were shut down. My mom's teaching license was canceled, so she wouldn't even have a job if we went back. And because of the persecutions against the dissidents in Turkey, we made a very fast decision not to go back and start a life here. My dad and sister were still in Turkey. We told them to come here as soon as possible, and thank God they were able to come here. They got here about a week after us. Everything happened so fast that we didn't understand what was going on at the moment. But on one hand, not being able to say goodbye to the loved ones in Turkey, like family and friends, it was tough. But on the other hand, we were seeing how bad the situation in Turkey was going. So we decided to stay here because staying here was our only choice. I was very close with my grandparents. They still live in Turkey. So the thought of not being able to see them for a while in real life really upset me and them. And also not knowing how long we would stay in this situation just made it harder on us.
Michaela, if you could ask the next question.
Yusuf, you also used to recently live in Turkey and now you live in Finland. What was on your list of countries best to go to? How did you end up in Finland, and what were some challenges along the way?
Leaving Turkey and our life there was, of course, very hard for me and my family. But the situation in Turkey was getting worse, and also the police came into our house because my dad was a teacher in one of those schools. It was very scary and traumatizing for us, to be honest. And so we decided in order to have a safe and free life, we had to leave our home country, Turkey. We left Turkey on a boat and had to walk about an hour initially we want to go to either America or Germany, but because of their good education systems. But after our research, we found out that Finland had also a very improved education system, and the living expenses there would be easier on us. So we decided to come to Finland.
I personally can't even imagine what that's like having to leave your country. But back to you, Zainab. Could you tell us a little bit about like what your mental state was out when you were leaving, or like when you had to when you learned that you had to stay here?
Well, of course, like Yusuf said, realizing I could not go back to my home country for a long period of time was really hard for me. And a lot of things were uncertain for us, like where we would live or how long we would live there for. Back in Turkey, we had really good life standards. However, when we first came here, my parents didn't even have a job, so we almost had nothing. Along with financial issues, there was also a legal status matter. So that uncertainty did not help me to get adjusted easily. Even though my parents told me we could not go back, I always had this thought in my mind that this would all be over soon and I would go back to my school and friends. Therefore, I never really tried to get adapted to the situation we were in. And these thoughts and uncertainty exhausted my mental state greatly. I was kind of isolated and wanted to have limited contact with others. I was cold to the people I met at first, even though it wasn't on purpose. And since I wasn't very good at English back then, it also affected my studies in school. Sometimes I was reluctant to do schoolwork. So when all of these issues overlapped, I felt a huge burden on my shoulders, and ultimately, it was kind of like a breakdown for me.
Michaela?
Yusuf, did your entire family come with you to Finland, or does some of your family still live in Turkey?
I could only come here with my mom, my dad, and my younger brother. So the rest of my family is still in Turkey. We can talk to them on the phone now, but we still don't know when we can meet again in person. We really miss them a lot.
So this all sounds pretty bad, but Zainab, can you tell us like some specific side effects of coming here and having to get adjusted? And how should other students react to, people coming over here, refugees adjusting?
I would say that the only negative side effect of coming here and getting adjusted was not being able to see my family and friends in Turkey for a long time. Other than that, I realized that no matter what the situation is or what your mental state is at that moment, you get adapted to your new life at one point. And I would say actually one positive side effect was adapting to a completely different lifestyle. It helped me build up my confidence. And what made it easier for me to get adjusted so quickly was the people I met in my school and community. They were all very understanding and trying to help people like me. I was very lucky to have met these kind and helpful people. My school friends, teachers, they all helped me to get adjusted to the system. They even helped me with my English so that it was easier for me. Um, and then also we were living in a very big community in Turkish community in Atlanta. So it was kind of comforting for me because it felt like home. I could talk to them about anything that I was going through and they would understand because they were going through the exact same thing. And it wasn't even only my Turkish friends that listened to me. My American friends in school, they were all very curious about what was going on and like how they could help me. Like my history teacher would always come up to me and be like, "Oh, Zainab, I watched the Turkish news yesterday. I know this is going on." She would just do that so that she would have something to talk to me about. That was all very sweet and played a big role in taking my barriers down and trying to get adjusted here. I'm very grateful for that.
Sounds very nice and comfortable. Michaela, could you ask the next question for us?
Yusuf, what are some of your interests and what are your next steps in the process?
In the first year, I went to language school, like the Finnish language school to learn Finnish, and it was my first week of school, and I only beginning school here this week. This will be my second week after the weekend. So my goal is to get socialized and get to know other people in my school. And art, also art is one of my. I'm sorry about that. Art is one of my main interests. So I hope I can do something in school about art. And I also really like to live in San.
You know what, Michaela, that was a pretty good question. So Zainab, I'll ask you the same thing. What are some of your interests and how do you plan on moving forward?
Some of my interests are I started doing fencing here, and I've been doing that for about 2 years. I really like it actually. And I started playing the guitar, and I actually started that during this quarantine to be productive. Um, my ultimate goal for my future career is to get into the medical field and do research on the human brain. Columbia is one of my dream schools. To build a foundation for this, I interned at a hospital here as a junior volunteer so that I can learn about the medical life and how it works. As for socially, I'm trying to be very active to bring attention and awareness to the human rights violations in Turkey and the issues all over the world. For example, I'm currently making videos for a YouTube channel called Youth Island New York. You guys can check it out. In our videos, we talk about the problems faced all over the world, such as racism, hunger, and human rights violations, and suggest ways to solve them. I also attended UNCSW for 2 years as both the panelist and attendee. Attending those panels was a great opportunity to explain and educate people about the persecutions in Turkey while learning about the other problems in the world. And as I mentioned before, my community was very helpful to get me adjusted here in my first year. So, as kind of a payback to my community, I'm mentoring and teaching the little kids in our community center. I teach the kindergarten is like 5 and 6 year olds. We do activities together, read books, and teach them about our moral values. It's all very fun. And besides building a good future and career, the reason why I'm interested in all of this stuff and work hard is that I was lucky enough to be able to get out of Turkey and come here. However, many people did not have this opportunity and still going through the hardships over there. So, as one of the lucky ones, I feel compelled to be their voices and here to help them here. And when I say many people, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people and their families suffering in Turkey. And because they were dismissed from their jobs and cannot work anywhere else, or they're arbitrarily jailed, they're also going through a huge social discrimination against those dissidents. Due to the passport seizures, they cannot go out of the country easily. And because of the suppression, they cannot speak out or stand up for themselves. Therefore, they need people like me who live freely in a democratic country to do the speaking up for them. This could be raising awareness or could be motivating them to go forward. So, considering all of these things, I believe that we can get healed by healing others. So, I do what I do.
Excellent, excellent discussion, guys. And I'm sure people have questions about some of your experiences, Zainab and Yusuf. Um, Thank you so much, Michaela and Alistair. I do have another question, and I know this is probably not something you guys were necessarily prepared for, but I think you could answer this question. Do you get a sense that there are opportunities within, you know, your school or your community outside of what you're already doing, Zainab? Do you get a sense that there are opportunities for young people to be heard about issues such as these within your school or within your community? Do you think that there are other opportunities, and is it easy to find those opportunities to be heard, to talk about issues like this? Anybody. And it's not just specific to Zainab and Yusuf, but also you too, Alistair and Michaela.
I would say maybe this is just my experience, but it feels like when kids or younger adults are trying to get their voices out or want to speak out about something, often the older population or the people that are older than us tend to just look down on us and not give us a chance to speak or treat us like we don't know what we're talking about. So I'm not going to say we don't have the opportunities, but I'm saying when we are presented the opportunities, we're still treated like we're kids and we don't know what's actually going. When in these certain situations, our age doesn't really matter. It's just about what we know and how we can help.
That's good.
I would say that if you want to be heard and want to do something for those people, there's always something you can do. For example, in our schools, we have clubs that we can attend and like speak out or talk about our problems. For example, in my old school, we had this international club. It was about students who migrated here. They were all immigrants. So we would just like talk about the things we go through together. So it was like a good opportunity for us to talk there. And it was really fun also. So I would say there are opportunities like that in our schools. Even if there isn't, you can always like start one to, do these things.
Right. Any other thoughts? Michaela or Yusuf, do you have a different experience or perspective?
I'm just now experiencing this kind of stuff now.
Um,
So I experienced it then.
Go ahead, Yusuf.
I'm now experiencing it all right now. So I don't know if I can say anything about the question and the answer.
Got it. Michaela, I think you were trying to say something.
I agree with Alistair and Zainab. I think that older people think that younger people can't do anything just because they are younger, but you need to have your voice and stand up to all those others who doubt you can't do it, because speaking up your voice, they will hear you. Other people will listen to you. But if you stay down and not say anything, what's going to happen then? So that's what I think.
And I'm sure that there are other comments in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Jim Ray.
Congratulations, everyone.
Could you repeat what you just said? We couldn't hear you.
Sure. Yes, we are receiving several comments at YouTube too. We live stream this event at several platforms, both for KH-Free Voices and Set Them Free. And like Ms. Firdes says, young people speaking about their experiences is crucial in understanding these complex processes, which will increase awareness about issues related to migration and integration. And she thanks everyone for organizing this panel. And we also have Ms. Hafsa. She says, we are proud of you guys, all of you, such a promising generation for such a hopeful future. So I really think the same. And thank you, Michaela and Alistair, for your awareness. And I thank Yusuf and Zainab for your brave hearts to open up and share your stories. And also, my dear friend, Batsheba, thank you so much for sharing your platform with us.
Thank you, guys. And those who are listening, or if you are going to be listening to this on the replay, stay tuned for the next episode. And if you like what you heard, tell your friends, and tell your friends to tell their friends to tune in to Cage Free Voices Radio. Because, you know, we would like for your children to be involved in Cage Free Voices online learning, and to be involved in these kinds of discussions. And not just your children, but for you to be involved so you can hear what young people have to say about issues in society. All right, guys, this has been a phenomenal episode. We have really discussed some serious issues here with the process of migration and integration. And I'm grateful that you guys have decided to express yourselves, despite whether or not the older generation or the more seasoned generation is willing to hear you at different times. Keep speaking up. Remember to see yourselves even if the world is blind. Reflect, connect, and transcend every internal and external barrier that will try to cage your voice. Remember, be cage free.
Thank you.
Thank you.